It interrupts everything I do. I work from home. I'm a software developer. I create videos. I create content. I teach people how to use software. I learn how to use software. I write articles. I work from home. And when I work from home, if there's a song in my head, it actually distracts me. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer podcast. So here's the deal, guys. I'm not in a studio right now. I am videoing myself. Is that a word? Videoing myself as well. I'm not in the studio. I'm actually sitting on my couch in my main area in my condo, and I am speaking on a lapel mic. I'm actually holding it in my hands right now to kind of see how the sound comes out. So there is a video of this, and there will be a podcast of this. I will acknowledge the video. Hey peeps, how you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. It's really my first test of being aware of doing a podcast while doing a video at the same time. So it's kind of a test, but it's very real. I bring you true value today. Now, from a trainer point of view, I'll say that because I'm really focusing on my podcasting game, I will refer to the camera and say hello every now and again, but I'm really focused on the voice aspect of this because I tend to be very squirrely when I speak. And when I cut up old videos and re-listen to my voice, I am lost. So I will try to stay on track. And if I focus on what I'm saying more than my hand gestures and my charming smile, I may get the content out more clearly and more concisely. Okay, so here we go. What do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about something that actually I've acquired in my knowledge banks about 4 days ago, and it's completely changed my level of performance. It's insane. You're going to learn how to use it today. I'm going to do this in under 10 minutes. Let me just adjust the tripod on my knee. I have a tripod on my knee, a gorilla pod on my knee with my iPhone as it's filming me. And because I'm focusing on the voice, it's kind of falling off and it kind of went out of frame there. Hello, people watching. Okay, guys, I got a book. I got a lot of books last week. I usually get about a dozen books per month. It depends. Last week I went out on the Audible store because I find that audiobooks can be consumed while I'm doing other things. I don't have to physically sit down and listen to a book or watch or read a book. I'm a little discombobulated because I'm doing voice podcasts. I'm doing this with the intent of being on voice devices, including Echo. I can't say her name, the Amazon device, including podcast, iTunes, and including a video. So I'm kind of trying to create my content from moving forward in terms of being congruent with all devices, not only technically, that's easy, but with what I say. So if you're listening, if you're watching, or if you're reading, because we'll have transcripts to this as well. Okay, yes, I'm upping my game. What did I learn 4 days ago that completely changed my level of performance? I learned how to use the music in your head to your advantage. And it's blowing my mind. I mean, literally. Do you guys ever have a song caught in your head? Of course you do. I'm not talking about the voices in your head, but you can probably use those too. You definitely can use the voices in your head, but today it's about the music in your head. How can you use that to your advantage? This was life-changing thing for me, and it worked immediately. And I'll tell you how I found it out, but first I'll tell you what it is. You know when you have that little song in your head that won't stop playing? And it really, I mean, literally will not stop playing. You can't turn it off. The more you think about turning it off, the more it plays. If you're not thinking about anything, it's still playing in the background. And here's the worst part. It distracts you from what you're doing. I want a show of hands. So here we go. If you're watching me, I'm raising my hand. I'm guilty of this, or I suffer from this. The song that plays in my head over and over again. It's not a story, it's a song. Usually because you just heard it, or usually because someone just hummed it, or usually because you just thought of it. It's there. Who's guilty of that? Not guilty of it. Who suffers from that? Show of hands, please. If you're listening to me, raise your hand in your room. If you're on your Alexa device, Alexa, stop. She heard me. If you're on your Amazon device, raise your hand in your house, wherever you are. Okay, check this out. I got a book 4 days ago. It's called The Art of Learning. The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. I'll repeat that. You should all read this book. It's crazy. It's called The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. Okay? Who is Josh Waitzkin? Does anyone know? Because this is actually, the initial recording of this is going out as a YouTube live. So anyone on YouTube know? I see you. I see you in here. Hey guys, what's up? But, okay, it doesn't seem like anyone knows yet. Someone's probably Googling it as we speak. Josh Waitzkin is the real life person that the movie The Search for Bobby Fischer was based on. The movie The Search for Bobby Fischer, you can Google that as well, is about a prodigy chess player child. Prodigy chess player child. Bobby Fischer was actually a legendary prodigy chess player, if that's even said properly. And Josh Waitzkin is the real guy that they based the movie on. I don't know if you guys know much about chess. I am obsessed with chess. I won't get into chess, but what I will say is that when I play chess, I like to absolutely destroy people. And yeah, it's fun. And chess is also one of these games. You're so emotionally involved in your attack or your defense that when you're on attack, you get this adrenaline, almost like you're in a physical war, as if, when I say physical war, I'm talking when you watch those movies and they're the swords and the swords and the shields and they all run together. Like, I'm talking barbaric stuff. You feel like you're winning like that. It's kind of weird. It's really, you get tied into your chess game. Those of you who play chess. But now when you're on defense mode and you're getting killed, you're losing your army, yo, and you know you're cornered. It's a devastating feeling. It's actually, it's heartbreaking. It's scary. It's heartbreaking. You feel all these emotions. So at the level that Josh Waitzkin was at, let's just say he's a credible dude. He's a credible guy. If I'm going to take advice from someone, it's someone who's credible. So he talks about how music in his head would interrupt his game. And I'm like, I know, right? I know, right? And what's funny about that is that I played a lot of chess in jail. I was in jail before. Many of you know this. I'm a good boy now, but I was a bad boy before. When I played chess in jail, where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? No, I know where I'm going with it, but why did I bring up my game? Oh, because I had musical ear syndrome, which is actually a real thing. Now, these are kind of loosely based parallels, or they're not, it's not the same topic right now, but it has to do with it because music playing in your head when it's not there, there's a condition called musical ear syndrome. It's a real thing. That's not what I'm talking about. When I was in jail, I suffered from that. That's when you actually in my cell, because I was alone and it was silent, and I thought music was coming from the vent. I just want to make the differentiation here between what I'm talking about and what you may be suffering from. When I'm talking about music in your head, I'm not talking about the clinical syndrome of musical ear syndrome. It's called musical ear syndrome. That's when you really hear music for real. It's not in your head. It's like really there, but it's not there. You're hallucinating music. And I used to hear it. I'm telling you the difference because I'm not talking about musical ear syndrome. When I had musical ear syndrome for a temporary amount of time, that was caused because of solitude in my jail cell. At the time, this is many, many, many years ago. I'm rehabilitated and all that stuff for the new listeners. But I would hear music come out of the vents where I slept. And I would put my ear to the vents in the middle of the night in my cell by myself. And I would literally hear music. Now, to this day, I don't know if it was music from maybe the kitchen in the jail, that like maybe they were working all night preparing the prisoners' meals, but I really heard music. I was never diagnosed with it because I never went to check, but I did look it up. So either I was imagining the music, but I'm telling you guys, I could hear all the strings. I could hear all the beats. I could hear all the vocals. It was very clear music, and they were very specific songs. As a matter of fact, one was a Bon Jovi song that kept playing over and over and over again, and I'm like, this ain't right. Why is this song playing over and over again? It's not a radio station. It could be someone who has a CD on repeat on the same song. It was Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. And it was like every note of the guitar solo. So I'm like, if I'm imagining, and I wasn't drunk, well, it depends. We used to make alcohol in jail. But no, maybe I was a little freaked out because I was in there for longer than I planned on it. And my mind was going cuckoo. That could be it too. But I could clearly hear the music. I spent a bit of time on that, way too long. That's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about is when you have a song stuck in your head. Okay? A song stuck in your head. Josh Waitzkin, the chess champion, used to have that problem. Not musical ear syndrome. He just had a song in his head. And it would interrupt his chess game. And when I had a song in my head, not musical ear syndrome, in jail as well, because I played a lot of chess in jail. When I had music, when I had a song in my head, these are the differences today. You either have a song in your head or you have musical ear syndrome. If you have official musical ear syndrome, you hear music out loud, but it's not there, go get checked out. I'm not a doctor. I can't help you with that. But I'm talking about the songs in your head. Woo! This took a really weird turn, but it didn't, okay? I just want to explain the differences. Now, Josh Waitzkin, in his book, it's so funny too. He had that problem, and he actually addressed Bon Jovi as well. Shout out to John, if you're listening, John. Love you, always have, always will. I'd love to meet you someday. There's my Hollywood pitch. He also had Bon Jovi stuck in his head quite often. And he said Bon Jovi too. That's why I got freaked out. I'm like, dude, I know, right? But check this out. It used to interrupt his game. And I could relate. Because it interrupts everything I do. I work from home. I'm a software developer. I create videos. I create content. I teach people how to use software. I learn how to use software. I write articles. I work from home. And when I work from home, if there's a song in my head, it actually distracts me. I mean, here I am thinking I could get rid of all distractions, having a quiet office, not having a wife, not having kids, not having a pet, being in complete isolation to work on my goals and dreams. And guess what? I have a song in my head. I'm like, come on. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're like, stop playing in my head. I can't get any work done. Now, this is what Josh addressed in his book, The Art of Learning. And when he brought that up, my ears were perked up. It was a simple solution, and it goes like this. Instead of letting the song defeat you and trying to get rid of it, and instead of saying, stop the music, I'm trying to focus on this, use the music as you're doing your thing. And for some reason, I just said, what? What? That's just a mindset. That's just a different way of framing it. So immediately that day, actually the next morning, listen, I'm going to tell you about this book, how I'll tell you about how capturing and how I got sucked into this book at the end of this podcast, video or text that you're reading. Once I started doing that, I did it immediately the next day as I was programming. I was actually working on an Alexa skill. Alexa, stop. I was working on an Amazon Echo skill and trying to get the developer console. And sure enough, a song came in my head. At this point, it was not Bon Jovi, but it was Frank Sinatra's My Way. It was like, regrets, I've made a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. That one, guys, that one will stick in your head forever. You probably have it in your head. With no exception. I'm telling you, that one sticks in your head. So I used the technique immediately. And what I did was I pretended I was in a movie and I was a developer, like a geeky programmer, programming something super awesome. And that was my background music to what I was doing. And I'm like, do, 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 do. And now I've seen it all. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 my way. And now, as I'm doing my work, I did it my way. Then there were times, and then I found myself literally humming it as I was working. And I couldn't believe it. I was owning the song as if it was the theme music to the epic thing I was doing. That's it. Before you knock it, folks, try it. So now what I find myself doing, I'm finding songs that I really like. I'm letting Alexa play it once. I'm getting the song in my head and I'm doing the thing and I'm doing better work. My work is more graceful. My work is maybe a little more aggressive. If I need to fight, I'll play an Eminem song before. When I say fight, I mean negotiate in business. Josh said this too. He said when there was a Bon Jovi song, he would play aggressively on the chessboard, but he would own it. And he said whenever there was a classical piece in his head, he would play gracefully on the chessboard, but he would own it. So there you have it, guys. That's my crazy life hack for today on the Life Hacks with the Wealthy Trainer podcast. That was fun. That was the first time I actually focused on speaking more than looking in the video lens. So for those of you there watching me, hello. Sorry I was ignoring you. I was really focusing on the voice to kind of improve on my voice game. And before I sign off, I just want to say, I said I would revisit this. When I got The Art of Learning, the book, it's an audio book. It's actually by Josh Waitzkin, the real life Search for Bobby Fischer guy. It's the publisher is Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is the publisher of the audiobook. He owns the rights. Just so you could find it. When I started playing the book, because it's an audiobook, I got the audiobook. When I started playing the book, it was 2 a.m. And I just said, I'll just listen to the intro. And I ended up, I'm going to do this because I think it's funny, because I know you care. You don't care about this, but I was trying to watch what I'm eating. I'm trying to watch what I'm eating, okay? I'm trying to lose a few pounds, but I always have a go-to bag of Doritos in my pantry. And I always have a go-to Haagen-Dazs peanut butter and chocolate small tub of ice cream. Always. They're there for emergencies. You guys know what I'm saying. You guys understand what I'm saying. It's like in case of emergency, break glass. Well, what did I do? I was enjoying the book so much. I got the bag of Doritos out, brought it in my bed, brought the Haagen-Dazs out. I didn't eat the whole bag. I didn't eat the whole the whole mini tub of ice cream, but I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the book more than I would a movie or going on a date. It was amazing. So not only will you learn a ton from it, but what you will do is really entertain yourself. It's an amazing story. And that was just one little nugget from the book I shared with you today. So that's what I got for you today. Try it before you knock it. I love you all, guys. And I will see you all on either social media or on my podcast. Bye-bye. There we have it. That was it. Thank you for watching or listening. I hope this content has helped you in any way, maybe motivated, inspired you. Maybe it's triggered an idea. Maybe it's gotten you out of a rut. Maybe it's simply entertained you. Listen, I'm just an ex-computer consultant guy who lost his way to drugs and alcohol and eventually became homeless. From rock bottom, I cleaned up, I clawed my way back into the workforce. I shifted into running my own business. I've been retired from the corporate world for 7 years now, and I've never looked back. If you want to follow me on my journey or maybe even connect further, you can either go to my blog at thewealthytrainer.com. That's thewealthytrainer.com. Or you can click the link in the description if you're watching this video. Marc Lalonde signing off, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye-bye now.